What's she doing at home?
With a nurse?
She's there with her nurse. Why? What's she doing?
Preparing for the house.
Well, they've already been married.
Oh, yeah.
Not in the morning.
At night?
At night. He's going to come at night. They get married in the afternoon. And Romeo at the church. And Romeo tells her that he'll come to her that night to consummate the marriage. And Juliet is here waiting for him. And when we open Act 3, Scene 2, Juliet is going to be expressing her impatience for Romeo to come. She's completely unaware of this incident that's happened, where her cousin, that she's very fond of, has been killed by Romeo, and then Romeo's been banished. So we'll start looking at the summary of Act 3, Scene 2 on page 128. Juliet longs for Romeo to come to her. The nurse arrives with the news that Romeo has killed Tybalt and has been banished. Juliet at first feels grief for the loss of her cousin Tybalt and verbally attacks Romeo, but then renounces these feelings and devotes herself to grief for Romeo's banishment. The nurse promises to bring Romeo to Juliet that night. So we'll start there on page 129. Act 2, Scene 2. Enter Juliet alone. Gallop pace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner's phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or, if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil night, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood bating in my cheeks with thy black mantle till strange love grow bold. Think true love acted simple modesty. Come night, come Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon. And when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival, to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Very nice speech she has here. A lot of different images here. Let's take a look at a couple of them. She says, right at the beginning there, gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, toward Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner's phaeton would whip you to the west and bring you cloudy night immediately. So a couple of things, words we need to make sure we know here. What are steeds? What is a steed? Think about a steed. What's a steed? Anybody know what a steed is?
No.
A steed is a horse, especially a fast one. So you fiery-footed horses, gallop. You guys know what galloping is, yes?
Like running.
Sort of like running, yeah. Horses have 4 different ways that they move. They've got walking, trotting, cantering, and galloping. Galloping being the fastest. Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, toward Phoebus' lodging. Phoebus, that's a name we've seen before. Phaeton is not somebody that we've... Actually, we did mention him at one point. Yes, Phaeton has been discussed by Dante. Who is Phoebus? We read about Phoebus in the Odyssey. Phoebus is another name for whom? One of the Greek gods. Like we had Pallas Athena, Phoebus. What's the other name for him? Starts with an A. Apollo. Phoebus is Apollo. Apollo is the god of what?
War.
Not war.
No.
A few different things. But here, Yes, and among other things, the god of the sun, also of music, archery, and disease. Apollo. So gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, you fiery-footed wagons, gallop towards Phoebus' lodging to Apollo's house. Such a wagoner as Phaeton, that's the son of the sun, who had that incident where he drove the chariot of the sun, and then he brought it too high and too low and was struck down by Zeus. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. What is she talking about here? Fiery-footed steeds galloping towards Phoebus' house. Phaeton whipping them into the west. What is she talking about here? What are these fiery-footed steeds?
Well, the horse that carry the sun.
Right, the horses that pull the chariot of the sun. In Greek myth, that the sun is in this fiery chariot drawn by horses. And of course, she wants Phaeton to whip these horses in which direction? Not the east.
No, west.
Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west. Notice the alliteration in that line, would whip west. We get the repetition of that sound there. It's called alliteration. That's repeating the sound at the beginning of a word. Alliteration. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west. Why does she want these Phaeton to whip these fiery steeds to the west?
No, she wants night.
She wants night to come. So why go to the west? What happened?
Because then the sun will set.
The sun sets in the west. So she wants the fiery-footed steeds pulling this chariot to gallop, to rush to the west. She wants Phaeton to whip them along. Phaeton had this chance to drive the chariot of the sun, but the horses went out of control. He wasn't able to control them. She wants them to gallop uncontrolled to the west. Whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. She wants the sun to move faster across the sky to bring night. Spread thy close curtain, love performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Why did she say love performing night? Love performing night. A couple different ways we could take that. Love performing night. Why does she want the night to come?
Because she wants to see Romeo.
She wants to see Romeo. Night, she says, spread thy close curtain. Why does she want the curtain of night to come? How's that going to help her?
So the guards can't see him?
Right, so Romeo can leap to her arms untalked of and unseen. But also she says love performing night. Why?
Okay.
Why love performing night? In addition to that, yes, it's going to allow her love to come to her, but also love performing, because what else happens at nighttime?
You get married?
Well, they already got married during the day. So now the follow-up part to that
The next step.
is what the next step, is what she's waiting for the act to follow the vows. That's what she's waiting for here. And this tension between the sort of more courtly kind of love and the sexual side of love is present all throughout this speech. Whereas up to this point, Juliet has everything we've seen from her with regards to Romeo, she's been very unaware of that sort of stuff. It's not really something that's seemed to be on her mind. She alludes to it once or twice, but she's not really thinking along those lines. Romeo maybe is a bit more thinking about the physical aspects of this, but not until this point do we see that really from Juliet. She talks about their amorous rites, the loving rituals that lovers perform. Again, that's a euphemism. Do you know what a euphemism is? So it's from a euphemism is from a expression. Eu means good or well in Greek, and then themi is to speak. So euphemism literally means speaking well. This is when we calling something by a more polite name, making something sound maybe more socially acceptable than it otherwise would be. So, and this speech is full of euphemisms for the marital act, which already that itself is a euphemism. Amorous rites here. And again, there's this contrast. We turn to the next page. We see there's been a lot of discussion so far in Romeo and Juliet's ways of thinking about each other, contrast between white and black, between light and darkness. So here, when we first see, when Romeo sees Juliet on the balcony, he compares her to the sun. But here, Juliet is longing for the night, civil night. Now, sober-suited matron, all in black. A matron is a married woman. And learn me how to lose a winning match played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. What maidenhood or maidenhead is virginity, a pair of stainless virginities. She's going to lose this winning match. Come night, come Romeo, come thou day in night. What does she call Romeo here in line 17? Day in night. He's going to light up her night. Brighten it like day. For thou wilt lie upon the wings of the night, whiter than new snow upon a raven's back. His brightness will be like bright white snow on the back of a raven. Then she says, give me my Romeo, and when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars. And he will make the face of heaven, make the sky so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. What is garish? That's a really great word, garish. Something's garish. Think like a woman who just wears way too much makeup. That might be garish. It's like a little bit scary or off-putting because it's overdone. Tacky. The sun it's too bright. It's garish. But here, Romeo, like the stars shining in the night sky. That's more tasteful. So again, now Juliet picking up on the imagery we saw from Romeo, where the beloved is like the light shining in the dark. There's this love of darkness, and the love being a bright light in that darkness, rather than daytime. There's something secret here and hidden. And then she says at the end again, some more euphemistic speech here. I have bought the mansion of love. I've bought this house of love, but not yet possessed it. I've bought it, but I haven't moved in yet. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day, so boring is this day, as is the night before some festival, to impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. I'm like a little child who has a new outfit for the festival tomorrow, but I can't wear them yet. Maybe we think of Romeo comparing himself to a schoolboy, Juliet comparing herself here to a little child. We remember that they are very young, not very mature. Okay, so Juliet has this whole speech here where she's just talking to herself. This is what's going on in her mind, and she says it aloud so that we, the audience, can hear. Enter nurse with cords. Who's going to do the nurse for me? All right. Oh, here comes my nurse. And she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks. I mean, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Where there is, he's dead. We're undone, ready, we're undone. I like the day, he's gone, he's killed, he's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can. Thou heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo. Whoever would have thought that, whoever would have thought it, Romeo.
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, and that bare vowel I shall poison more than the death-darting eye of cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye, or those eyes shut that makes the answer I. If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God said the mark. Here on his smelly breast. A Peter's curse, a blood Peter's curse. Pale as ashes. All
Bedaubed.
in blood. All linger in blood. As runner at the side.
Oh, break my heart. Poor bankrupt, break at once. To prison eyes, ne'er look on liberty. Vile earth to earth resign and end motion here. And thou and Romeo press one.
That ever I should live to see that.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered and is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin and my dearer lord? Then dreadful trumpet, sound the general doom, for who is living if those two are gone?
That way is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him is banished.
Oh God, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. It did.
All right, the nurse comes in. She's got this ladder that she was supposed to bring. And what happens here on 133 with her conversation with Juliet? The nurse says, where are they? He's dead. His courtier said, he's dead. Can heaven be so envious? Juliet says, why are you torturing me? What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, yes, and that bare vowel I shall poison more than the death-darting eye of cockatrice. Of course, she's talking about what wound? The wound that from when Romeo killed Tybalt. I saw it with mine eyes here on his manly breast, a piteous corpse, meaning corpse, a bloody, piteous corpse. And then finally, the nurse actually makes it clear who she's talking about at the bottom of the page. Who's the nurse right about here? Whose death? Tybalt. Julia first thinks, what storm? She says, what storm is this that blows so contrary? What storm is this that's blowing so strongly against me? She says, is Romeo slaughtered and is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin and my dearer lord. The two people most dear to her. And she says here, this is a nice line, then dreadful trumpet, sound the general doom, for who is living if those two are gone. Dreadful trumpet here is the trumpet that will blow at the beginning of the last judgment, the general doom, the end of the world. Then dreadful trumpet, sound the general doom, Let the world end. The world is ending. If that's what, who is living if those two are gone? We're all going to die. The world is coming to an end if they're both gone, she says. And then the nurse clarifies, Tybalt is gone and Romeo banished. Sup, G? Oh God, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood? Now Juliet finally realizes what it is that has happened here. And Juliet starts this next speech here, which we should look closely at, starting in line 79 here. O serpent heart, hid with a flowering face, did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolvish ravening lamb, despised substance of divinest show, just opposite to what thou justly seemest, a damned saint, an honorable villain. O nature, what hadst thou to do in hell when thou didst devour the spirit of a fiend in mortal paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace. Nurse?
So, there's no trust, no faith, no honest man. All good, good, all first word, all not, all December. Where's my man? Give me some alcoholic weakness. This grief, this wood, this sorrow makes me want. Shame can't more right now.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit. For 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned, sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
We speak well of him that feel your cousin.
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? We'll pause there for a second. I love...
Yes.
Right, he has the heart of a serpent. This wicked heart, but a lives in a fair kingdom, an angelic demon. A dove-feathered raven, despised substance of divinest show. His appearance is divinest, is most divine, most heavenly, but his substance is despised, is hateful. Just opposite to what thou justly seemest. A damned saint. Damned souls are in hell, the saints are in heaven. He's a saint, a damned saint, an honorable villain. The spirit of a fiend in mortal paradise of such sweet flesh. The demon's soul in a paradise of sweet flesh. Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? He's a book with vile contents in a beautiful binding. Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace. That deceit, that falsehood should dwell in such a gorgeous palace. All of these great contradictions that she says here, echoing her very torn feelings about this. On the one hand, Romeo, her dearer lord. On the other hand, Tybalt, her dearest cousin, whom he killed. And the nurse says what in the next few lines? To line 97. What does she say in those few lines there?
Shame.
She says, shame on Romeo. And what else does she say before that? She makes a more general statement. All forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. What's her more general statement here? No trust, no faith, no honesty in men. How can we rephrase that? Men are trash, maybe.
Yeah.
He says, there's no trust in men. There's no faith in men, no faithfulness, no honesty in men. They're all perjured. They're all forsworn. You're forsworn. You broke a promise that you made. All not. They're all good for nothing. They're all dissemblers. Dissembling is pretending. They're all pretenders, all fakers. And then she asks her servant for what?
Where's my man?
Where's my man? Where's my servant? And then she sees him and she says to him,
Give me
yes, aqua vitae, Latin for water of life, some liquor. Give me some liquor. So here, probably brandy, because that's the spirit that they mostly would have been drinking at this time. Spirits being distinct from other alcohols, like wine or beer, are fermented from grapes or grain, but then a spirit, a liquor, is then distilled like that, and condensed it back, so it's got a much higher concentration. The phrase